Empire architects. James Cash Penney made one decision that every competitor called naive. While retailers built profits on haggling, hidden fees, and confusing credit terms, he chose radical transparency. Fixed prices. Fair dealing. The golden rule as business strategy. That contrarian move turned one Wyoming shop into America's largest department store chain. James Cash Penney was born September 16, 1875, on a Missouri farm, the seventh of 12 children. According to Britannica, his father was a Baptist minister and farmer who demanded strict discipline. Family income was thin. His father required him to earn and pay for his own clothing as a child, as Penney wrote in his memoir 50 Years with the Golden Rule. That early requirement taught two lessons. Money felt earned, never given. And fairness felt sacred, because a child paying adult prices learns quickly what exploitation looks like. Penney dreamed of becoming a doctor, but repeated illnesses left him frail. Doctors advised a drier climate. He moved west in 1897 for health and work. Colorado offered hard air, hard jobs, and a chance to start over. He found work as a junior clerk for about $2.27 per month, according to Britannica. The pay was tiny, but the education was enormous. He learned inventory by counting it at dawn. He learned customers by listening at night. He learned that a store is a living organism, shaped by trust or destroyed by it. In 1898, Penney joined the Golden Rule chain run by Thomas Callahan and Guy Johnson. These were modest dry goods stores serving mining and ranch towns. The chain had a motto taken from Scripture: "Do unto others as you would have others do unto you." According to JCPenney corporate history, Penney adopted that motto as the operating rule, not a marketing line. The stores used fixed prices, clear labeling, and cash sales to avoid the trickery common in frontier retail. Penney thrived. Callahan promoted him to manage an Evanston, Wyoming store. He studied which goods miners bought after payday, which fabrics ranch families wanted, and which prices people accepted without resentment. In 1902, his bosses offered something rare: a one-third partnership in a new store. He had saved about $2,000 and borrowed the rest. On April 14, 1902, he opened the first Golden Rule store in Kemmerer, Wyoming. The shop was one room, stocked with basics for workers and families. But that is not the full picture. The decision that built the empire was still forming. Penney treated the shop like a laboratory. He applied fixed prices without bargaining. He trained staff to greet every customer and explain value clearly. He tracked sales daily, then rewrote orders at night to avoid dead stock. He reinvested profits into inventory, not lifestyle. He also did something quietly radical. He offered ambitious employees a path to become partners in new stores. This was not charity. It was a scaling system. Every expansion created a leader with skin in the game. Here is what most people miss. At the time, retail profits came from opacity. Stores used confusing credit terms, hidden markups, and hard bargaining. A shopper might feel victorious after haggling, then realize later the price was still unfair. Penney believed long-term loyalty was worth more than one-time spreads. So he refused to haggle. He refused to trap customers in debt. He insisted on consistent pricing and visible value. Competitors called it soft. Bankers called it risky. Penney called it the foundation. The contrarian insight was simple. Trust scales faster than tricks. A fair fixed price lets customers decide fast and lets clerks serve rather than spar. Transparent dealing creates repeat business. Repeat business creates predictable cash flow. Within 2 years, Penney opened more Golden Rule stores in nearby towns. By 1907, he bought full interest in 3 locations. By 1912, the chain had grown to 34 stores across the Rocky Mountain states. The model was working reliably. In 1913, the chain incorporated as the JCPenney Company. The incorporation did not change the rule. It scaled it. Penney wrote policies requiring managers to treat customers and employees with the same fairness expected at home. That same year, Penney moved headquarters to Salt Lake City, then in 1914 to New York City to centralize buying and shipping. The shift east was a major bet. Western mining towns were familiar. Eastern cities had entrenched competitors. Yet Penney trusted the same formula. He opened in smaller city centers, not luxury districts. He used national purchasing to cut costs. Savings were passed to customers through fixed prices. He standardized store layouts so customers could find the same counters, price tags, and service tone anywhere. The results were staggering. By 1917, the company operated about 175 stores in 22 states. In 1924, 500 stores. In 1928, 1,000 stores. By 1929, about 1,400 stores nationwide. Annual gross business reached about $190 million by 1928. Penney's personal income exceeded $1 million a year in the mid-1920s. What happened next surprised everyone. Success brought temptation. Penney poured personal wealth into Florida land development and dairy ventures backed by personal guarantees. Then the stock market crashed in 1929. The Great Depression collapsed land values and credit. Penney's personal guarantees were called. He lost most of his personal fortune. The crisis threatened more than pride. It threatened the empire. Retail is a low-margin business that depends on volume and confidence. During the Depression, both evaporated. Many chains cut wages, squeezed suppliers, and raised prices on necessities. Penney could have done the same and survived easily. But that would break the Golden Rule. The decision that built the empire now demanded payment. Here is what most people miss. The Golden Rule, once mocked as soft, now functioned as a shield. Customers knew penny prices were not tricks. Suppliers knew contracts would be honored. Employees knew cutting corners was not required to keep jobs. Trust became liquidity when cash was scarce. By the mid-1930s, the company was stable again. The partner-manager system meant store leaders were owners in spirit. They fought for survival town by town. The empire had a broader base than any single founder. The scale that followed was massive. By 1941, about 1,600 stores in all 48 states. The chain peaked at more than 2,000 stores in the early 1970s. Even today, JCPenney remains one of the most recognized names in American retail with hundreds of stores operating nationwide. The business lessons are direct. First, transparency removes friction. Fixed prices let customers decide fast and clerks serve rather than negotiate. Second, aligned incentives create sustainable growth. The partner-manager system built a leadership pipeline with skin in the game. Third, trust scales better than tricks. Long-term loyalty beats short-term spreads. This was not luck. It was a repeatable design. Treat trust as an asset. Treat employees as future partners. Treat every store as a unit that can multiply. Compete on clarity, not confusion. Can this work today? Absolutely. Modern empires still scale around trust, transparent pricing, and aligned incentives. In a world of hidden fees and endless coupons, the golden rule is still contrarian. Companies that keep pricing understandable and incentives aligned earn durable loyalty. James Cash Penney began as a farm boy forced to buy his own clothes. He became a clerk earning pennies a day. He accepted a partnership in a one-room Wyoming shop and insisted on fair dealing as strategy. That decision built JCPenney into a national chain and influenced future giants of retail. If you enjoyed learning about this empire builder's journey and you're interested in building your own empire, there's something you need to know. JCPenney and 78% of the Forbes 400 use a specific strategy to build massive businesses and multiply their wealth systematically. But here's what most people miss: there's a pattern. A strategy hiding in plain sight. The Forbes 400 know it. They exploit it. They've built fortunes with it. And it's been hidden from mainstream business education for decades. First link in the description reveals what the titans of industry don't talk about publicly. Watch it next. 10 minutes that could change everything.